Hello, Michelle Cooks fans. I am making today for you Laban, which is Syrian yogurt. Very easy to make, just needs a little babysitting. So the first thing I do is I start with whole milk. All right, on the stove here, I have a gallon of whole milk. And you can put that in whatever pan or saucepan or pot that you think it'll fit in. It has a little bit of room at the top here, at the rim, so that we can bring it to a very heavy simmer. I also have the heat set at a medium. Now, when I originally learned to make this, I would set it at a high, but I would always have parts of it that would get stuck to the bottom, and then it would make an awful mess. So instead, somebody said to me, instead, put it on a medium and bring it slowly up to temperature. Okay, so the thing you don't want to do is leave it. Okay, once you start this process, stay with it. You're also going to want to have yogurt starter. Okay, which means either from a previous batch of yogurt, or if you get some from the store, you can, or from a friend who makes yogurt, you can get some from them. The homemade stuff is a little bit better, just because it's got a little bit more stiffness to it and solidity. You are going to need approximately, for a full gallon of milk, you're going to need approximately 1/3 of a cup of the starter. Please remember, if you buy it from the store, this is non-flavored, full-fat yogurt, okay? As it's starting to heat up, I don't know if you can tell, but those bubbles have disappeared. It is not hot yet to the touch of the side of the pot, but I just want to give you each stage so you're not scared about what's going on. Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit of steam coming from this. It's not ready yet, just wanted to let you know what it looks like. Okay, now we're starting to get some small bubbles that are appearing on the surface. Okay, so we're getting closer, and it looks like it's going to start to rise very soon. So you need to keep an eye on it. Now, hopefully you can see this, but you see there's kind of a line, and it's starting to raise just ever so slightly. And if you watch it, it'll start to go around the pot. Okay, and you can tell then, see how it's going to meet? It's starting to raise. After this point, it probably will be done in about 2 minutes. Also, I want to stress to you, do not stir during any of this time. You're just letting it cook. Okay, we're at the point where I'm going to be shutting this off. I believe it's at the right place. You can tell the top is full of bubbles, okay, and you can see them. It looks like it wants to boil, but we don't want to bring it to that point. It's also starting to rise ever so slightly up the sides. So all I do is I shut the heat off and just let it set. When it sets, it's going to look more like this. It's going to settle down a bit. And the way to test whether it's ready is to stick your pinky in, and you should be able to count to almost 10. And then you know it's time to put your starter in. This is too hot yet, so I have to wait a while. After it cools down a little bit, for my 1 gallon, I know this will hold my boiled milk. So I will dump one of them in here. The other one I'm going to keep in the pot. So if you need to dump it into another container when it's partly cool down, you can do so, and then let the cooling down process finish. Okay, I want you to see what happens at the bottom of the pot. It gets a little bit of this, comes off very, very easily. Little bit of the milk solids on the bottom. If you get real dark on here, that means you've cooked it way too long. Okay, just so you have an idea. And what I've done is I have put it into 2 containers. I made 2 different batches because I intend to do 2 different things with these. And I've put them in my containers. Now I'm going to stick my finger in here. 3, 4, 5, 6, still too hot. Okay, I have set up my camera, so hopefully you can see this better. I'm going to stick my finger here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's ready for the starter part of the yogurt, which I've gotten from a friend. And I'm going to start putting it in there. And again, if I had to make a measurement, I would tell you it would be about 1/3 of a cup. And you're going to stir and stir and stir so that it's evenly distributed. Okay, in here. All right, and now I'm going to cover them, which I have my covers here and here. And I have an old towel that I only use for cooking. Now notice I have it setting on a towel to keep it warm. And then I'm going to take a towel and I'm going to cover them as well as I can to keep them from drafts and let these set at least 8 hours, preferably overnight. And then we should have yogurt in the morning. Good morning. It's the next morning, and now the moment of truth with our homemade yogurt. So I'm going to uncover, and here's my 2 containers. That one is about half of a gallon plus half of a half gallon, and this is a full gallon. Okay, gonna open up the lid. And look at that. It is yogurt. And let me just show you with a wooden spoon. See how it's come out? And this can be refrigerated, and there's lots of different things you can do with this. And in my next video, I'll show you what else I'm going to do with this yogurt. Thank you, Michelle Cooks fans. I hope this was helpful.